Hello. Let's sit. Hello, everybody. Great to be here with you. Let's see. Oh, nice to see. Chris is here, and Nancy, and Andy, and John, and Joe. Hooray. Um, all right. I feel like a lot going on this Monday, September 20th. Why don't we start with our trial guides calendar. Over the weekend, there was a quote from Rick Friedman's Becoming a Trial Lawyer book. Jurors assume the lawyers know the true value of each claim. Your allies on the jury are looking to you for guidance. Your adversaries on the jury are looking for signs of weakness. Failing to give a number is a sign of weakness. If you're allowed to give a number, yeah. If you're in West Virginia or Pennsylvania, figure out something else to do. He doesn't say that, I do. And it's still true that I think jurors look to us, right, to say in a case like this has a certain kind of value. And all right, Monday, September 20th, today, Nick Raleigh, Courtney Raleigh, and Joey Lowe, trial by human. Oh, I thought someone was saying that the sound wasn't working, but that's not it. There we go. Come on. The trial by human. Our clients really don't have any reason to trust us. The way to start that relationship is to tell them what's important to us. Yeah, I certainly agree with the building trust with the client, and that is a nice idea. Sharing our values, and actually, I would add to that to say checking out what's important to them. Right, make sure we're on the same page. We have many assumptions. Oh, they want to get as much money as possible. Maybe they'd like to do safety things. Maybe they'd like both. So, all right, good stuff to think about this morning. What else? Oh, administrative stuff, right? So I'm looking at all these different screens. I'm blurry on some of them, not on others, but we're now streaming not just to Facebook Live, but to the zenlawyer.com page has a link, Daily Zazen, to a YouTube Live page. And so that means it was actually prompted by Joshua Carden. He wanted to participate and doesn't have a Facebook account. So I thought, oh, what a good idea. People don't have to be on Facebook. You could go to the YouTube Live or access it through the zenlawyer.com. I might find a way to just embed that on the page, but it's a whole other technical question. And let me see. I want to make sure that I think we can do cross-platform chatting, although I'm not really seeing that. I'm just seeing it on Facebook. And if you would do me a favor and check it out, like go to the zenlawyer.com, not right now, but like through the day, see if you can access, because the video will be live, and then like on Facebook, it'll be there through the day. If you're watching it through the day in reruns. I set it to private, so not just anyone can get there. So I'm not sure if you have to ask for permission or if you can just join, like follow the page or subscribe or something. There's no cost. But if you check it out, I'd be curious. Thank you for your help with that. I feel like there's so much going on. I had a great conversation with my oldest son this weekend. And it made me think a lot about boundaries, right? Like I feel like I'm I know I'm bad at setting boundaries and following them. And that's been my work for some time, to try to set boundaries. And so I did that with him. I told several people close to me, here's the boundary I'm going to set. Um, and then I was in a situation where the boundary no longer made sense. Maybe didn't make sense. I didn't know. But I broke the boundary. I'd set a boundary ahead of time. And then in talking to him, okay, this makes sense. I'm not going to be so rigid in the boundaries. And then as a result, I think it was tremendously helpful for him and for our relationship. Had a great call this weekend. And so to me, there's always a balance with like loving kindness. I don't know, like the Zen Buddhist words for it. Maybe I have to ask Roshi. Like the Kabbalistic words would be, on one hand, literally kind of one hand and other, the two sides of the body. On one hand, loving kindness, and on the other hand, like setting boundaries and limits. And I'm always trying to figure out the balance of those. But anyhow, that was a great thing that happened this weekend. Bad thing that happened was this woodpecker pecked all the way through the wood of our house, but well, woodpeckers will be woodpeckers. And then the other thing this weekend was I hosted what's called a Sangha Circle, like the Zen community, little get-togethers to discuss like Zen Buddhist ideas. And for the fall kind of intensive study period. And this was interesting to me. Maybe it is to you too. The Four Noble Truths, right? You've probably heard this. The way I've always heard the first like Buddhist noble truth is life is suffering, which seems like rather grim. And what I liked here was that it must be in Pali. Actually, the translation, that's a translation of the word suffering, right? It's actually like life is dukkha, is the Pali word. And there's other ways to translate it, probably better ways than suffering. So there's this kind of wider sense that means impermanence or imperfection or unsatisfactoriness. And I love that. Like life is impermanent, life is imperfect. And that's helpful to me to see. You know, that speaks to me like trying so hard for perfection that I don't get things done, right? I don't submit something because I can keep making it better and better. You know, life is impermanent, wanting things not to change or waiting for them to change instead of being in the moment. And some of what Roshi had sent around, you know, the desire for happiness as well as the desire to avoid suffering is natural. But delusion is not knowing what genuine happiness really is or how to end the suffering, right? Happiness is not about a constant flow of pleasant feelings. It's about equanimity in the midst of the change, in the midst of the impermanence. So and then I like this, to abide in equanimity in this kind of big mind state. Here's 3 things to do. Realize that enjoyment is enjoyment. Our practice is not to shut out pleasurable experiences or enjoyment, right? Sitting on the mat and cushion or in your chair silently in Zazen is not to cut things off. It's actually to feel more fully. So enjoyment is enjoyment. Unsatisfactoriness is unsatisfactoriness, right? Don't be fooled when something isn't right. You know, when there needs to be a boundary, when someone's doing something that's wrong, don't be fooled. It's not okay. And realize that non-clinging to either of these is equanimity and freedom and happiness, right? We don't want to shut out enjoyment or unsatisfactoriness, but have an equanimity. So here's the example. When you eat a delicious meal, it's enjoyable. When a loved one dies, like we feel lonely. Feel those things. Non-clinging to the pleasure of the meal, non-clinging to the loneliness that arises when we miss a loved one. That's liberation, right? That's happiness. So feel sad when sad things happen. Feel joy when joyful things happen. And then the tough part is don't cling to that. Um, Otherwise, that's how we get stuck in these regrets. Um, the more I notice that in my life, just the more true it is. I think I've spent an unnatural part of my life like regretting past friendships that could have been closer. Like even thinking about, in middle school, if I'd only done this. In high school, I wish I'd been more emotionally intelligent. In college, if I would have, and then looking people up on Facebook or um, even before Facebook. And so it's nice to be aware of those things, right? And if I'm only in that space, and I'm not just tending to now and friendships now. And for me, that's, I mean, for all of us, obviously, but yeah, for me to try not to live in the past and replay what I should have done beyond like maybe thinking about it once. Okay, learn from it, move on. I can get stuck in the past. So these are good reminders for me not to cling to that, be in the joy of the moment, be in the sadness of the moment, feel it fully. Huh. All right. So what's up with you? Happy Monday. Um, I won't be doing, I think, the work retreat this Sunday because I'm going to be flying back from the Academy of Truck Accident Attorneys conference where I'll be this. And speaking of which, I guess Wednesday, Zazen, I'll be on a plane. So I'll try to find a cover for that or maybe a way to pre-record it. I don't know if I can do that. So kind of warning, let me see if I can find someone to cover that. And then likewise, I think the work retreat, I can do most of them. I think just this Sunday is going to be tough. All right. Thank you for being here. Let's take a minute to feel everyone's presence. Whew. Let's dedicate the merit of our sitting today to everyone who suffers, to everyone who's caught in the past. May our sitting, may our practice help to reduce suffering in the world. May we as lawyers in the world today, as people in the world, do good things. May it be so. Have a great Monday.